start and find a way to win on the road to start the season. Just kind of overview defensively, thought it did a good job just kind of containing the quarterback to limit the explosive plays. Executed a plan to do that, taking away some of the dash plays and the way we pass rushed it. I thought those guys executed well. I thought the tackling was solid for the most part. You're always going to miss a tackle or two in games, especially against good athletes. We only had a few of those, so that was nice to see. Offensively efficient, moving the ball through the air and on the ground. Great job of taking care of the ball throughout, and with having more or less 9 possessions and finding a way to score 6 touchdowns was efficient. And then on the special teams part, solid. Obviously got to clean up the punt protection, a couple of errors on the play that, that's what game ones are about. It's about learning, finding out where you're at, building some depth. It was great to get multiple guys in the game, and guys can earn that, right? Practicing hard. And, guys like Jeremiah Noga comes in, he's been contributing on special teams, did it yesterday. At the same time, finding a way to score a touchdown it was cool to see. I thought Jaden Robinson showed up huge, a couple 4th downs, playing some tight man coverage, which we asked him to do, and he did solid with it. So a lot to clean up after that. Headed to an opponent that we got respect for. Known Dan Hawkins for a long time. Does a really good job. Reoccurring theme, playing a really good quarterback. We're doing that week in and week out. I cannot say enough how excited I am to play the first one in Research Stadium for this season. This team, personally, kind of want to thank donors, Beaver Nation, our administration, Hoffman Construction. It's a lot of work that's gone into this thing, and it'll be complete on Saturday because Beaver Nation's going to be there. Counting on a sellout. Know that our fans are excited to go. We'll only get 6 of these, only 6 opportunities to fill this place and create a great home field advantage, so it cannot wait on that idea. Questions?
Saturday, do you allow yourself to take it in a little bit with Research Stadium? I know you got a game to play, but you go out and kind of take it in a little bit? Do you expect the players to maybe look around a little bit, or?
Yeah, I think it's a really good question, and I'll just say personally, yeah, I plan on doing that. Get out there half hour before, take a look at things. And I hope our players do too. I mean, that's part of the experience and what we've done, and this thing getting built, and can't now wait for a big time atmosphere.
What is the coolest feature you've seen of what we've been able to see from?
Yeah, I've gotten access to quite a bit of it, and I think Beaver Street, 100%, the energy that's going to create. And you know me, I love going to our baseball games, and I think it's going to be similar going from Casey's Corner and walking around, the movement, bite to eat. I think those bar tops on the back end of it, to be able to get a refreshment and then stand there and watch the game. The idea that you can start on one side and get to the other side now that it's 360 around, I think that's such a cool feature.
How did you come out health-wise yesterday? Hart, how is he?
Yep, it really was a stinger in the game. Probably could have gone back in the game, but didn't. So we're hopeful that he'll be good to go this weekend. We'll get a better idea kind of this afternoon. A lot of those guys are checking in right now. Besides him, we did have some cramping go on. The guys had to get some hydration and whatnot, but nothing major.
Was the DJ you saw yesterday the same you saw in fall camp?
In ways in the scrimmages, how efficient he was, going to the right spots with the ball. From the scrimmage and just watching him operate, because again, this wasn't just all him making plays. He had some good protection to mix the run and the pass. Guys making plays in the pass game. It was good to see.
Was your pass rush plan yesterday more to contain rather than to really pressure and get after and get him on the ground?
Yeah, we wanted to contain to keep him not from extending the play. One, outside the pocket, but then he's a great step up and then escape player, so we wanted to squeeze the pocket, not too far up the field, so then he's up and out, so we wanted to contain him.
Your first drive of the second half, you guys were on the 24 and you went for it on 4th down. Would you have been comfortable kicking in that situation? Would
have been comfortable, yeah, if it would have been a longer 4th down or something like that. The opportunity to separate the game in regards to going up 3 scores, thinking, because what it was 21-3 at the time, that was the logic.
This is an unusual week for you in that you have one less day to prepare. How is it? You don't have obviously don't have the Sunday
Yep.
practice. What else, how else are you preparing that's a little different this week?
Yeah, we're treating this day kind of like a Monday, so this is an off day for these guys, getting into the training room and things, but we're gonna have a little bit more meeting time in the morning to digest this game quickly, but then we're full speed ahead. We're gonna practice on tomorrow, just like a normal Tuesday.
How is Damian different than a year ago?
Well, I didn't catch the ball out of the backfield, he got that, and we split him out and caught the ball. I thought in protection he did okay, missed a couple of things there, but catching the ball, he's gained a little weight. He's still physical and running, and he ran well.
You mentioned the punt, obviously, the block punt and the special team. There wasn't a lot of opportunities in the game really for the special teams to really show everything they can do, but I was wondering on the onside kick, did you feel like you guys were prepared for that one, or?
Those are tough to prepare. Yes, we had our eyes on, really throughout the game, the way they were doing it. They were squibbing a decent amount. You could see they were not gonna kick it deep to Silas, and so we made some adjustments there, putting different guys in the game that are maybe more apt to fielding the ball than blocking. The final onside was a kind of a traditional look that our front line could have made a play on, but, again, that's why you're always learning. But I felt like we were prepared.
Maybe at the start of the second half.
Oh, on the squib where they're trying to hit somebody, and we anticipated after that they weren't gonna just continually kick it deep to Silas, and so we're always trying to avoid a hard squib kick, which we did.
A lot of new faces on defense. What did you think about the communication and the cohesiveness with that new group in game one?
Solid. I thought there was a couple early we could have communicated a little bit better, not on a total bust, but just not getting the secondary, how we were gonna adjust, whether we're gonna cloud the corner or play a third, that type of thing, which is, first series. Thought, the inside linebacker communication was solid because we did rotate through. Easton went down for a couple of plays. John Miller hops in there, and Calvin played well for his first game and did some solid stuff. So it was good. Never perfect, but it was good.
Speaking of Calvin, that defensive delay of game call, kind of an unusual call. What was your view on that?
Yeah, still trying to get clarity on how that took place. I don't know, they call it on Calvin. I think at least off tape, if anything, it'd be the defensive line, but yeah, still looking for clarity.
Can you talk a little bit about that secondary play? Obviously, some guys coming back in Coop, Catan, and Jaden Robinson, but a couple new faces too, and it seemed like you guys played pretty well back there.
Yep, I thought they tackled well. They challenged. Again, those guys can, be explosive in the pass game, and they did. They were on the same page for the most part. Akili, Catan, good tackles. I already mentioned Jaden. Ivy for first playing, he played physical and aggressive. And, got a couple calls didn't go his way, but we're going to play that brand once in a while. Thought he tackled well and was in the right spots. I thought Koo, same thing. We were asked him to rush a little bit, play some coverage. He's in the post some of the time, so played quite a bit.
And then can we talk about the running backs a little bit too? Obviously you mentioned Dame, but just beyond that, do we expect, Deshaun Fenwick, Isaiah Newell to still get reps in a given week, or do you think that's kind of week to week based on hot hand and those kind of things?
Yeah, we'll definitely Dame to Fenwick. We want to get the rotation there. Again, Dame got a little bit of hot hand. You just look at the total amount of plays we had, 63 total plays. We were looking for some balance, and so the amount of carries divided by 3 is going to be pretty low, and it might be divided by 2. We are totally good on Newell. I think he's a really good player. He played a ton on special teams. Very confident. If he goes in the game, we can give him the ball.
Isaac at blocking back, is that a regular thing or an experiment?
Oh, you're talking about Hodge?
Yeah.
Yeah, we worked that throughout camp, and we're gonna splash that in, doing some stuff, playing, just a different personnel group the defense have to defend, and we got some run and play action out of it.
Yesterday, kind of got the impression you weren't super happy with the new clock rule. You only have 4 possessions in the first half. I'm wondering, if you're a team that likes to run the ball and plays good defense, doesn't that actually kind of play in your favor?
There can be some advantage to that, yeah, if that's the brand of ball. I just like the, opportunities for guys to play and get multiple snaps. And so it's just something we're gonna adjust to. Is a little bit different. Like I say, the 4 possessions the first half, that is a little bit of our brand at times where we're making the game physical, can go on longer drives type of thing. So something to adjust to.
What was in playing Childs, was that during the week, did you guys decide he was gonna get a series if the game was in hand, or how would and going forward, is it week to week on Ben, Aiden, or do you like Aiden to get in there some? And
Yep, kind of all of that. Like Aiden a lot, plan on getting him in the game when the opportunity arises. Still have confidence in Ben. I think it's week to week, and you look at the plan and what how we want to attack defense, but feel really confident with really all three of those guys going in the game.
there obviously was a lot to like out of yesterday, but what would be your biggest concern coming out of the game?
Well, anytime you give up a block punt, that's just jumps off the page. I mean, that's not good. That's the worst play in football ultimately. So we gotta get that tightened up. There were some mechanics throughout the game, and we called a timeout early on defense that we gotta do better. You know, always, once you play a game, you're on tape, and so flaws that you have, people study, you know, these coaches are pretty good, so we gotta be making sure that mistakes that we made throughout the game get tightened up so it doesn't get exposed for the next week.
On the touchdown to Jeremiah, Coach, first of all, did you ever have 6 seconds to throw a ball when you were in the pocket?
Yeah.
You were here? And secondly, did Jeremiah, was that freelance in any way at any point where he just kept running and get open? What did you see develop on that?
Yep, a lot of time. I mean, there were rushing 3 guys, and so you should get a little bit more time, maybe not that much to do it. And then, yeah, Noga's route really is clearing the middle of the field. We're trying to get something up underneath him, and then as the play extended, time-wise, that kind of freelanced and good by Noga reaction-wise, and then obviously the poise of DJ to stand in there and make the late throw.
When, was there an aspect or an element when you come through a camp and now the lights are on, it's game time? Was there something that you were really kind of like, oh, that's maybe even better than I thought it was going to be, or this happened in a way that you were pleased to see, but when you may have had some concerns going in about how you would perform?
Right, you don't totally know. Game one, you know, we don't get these like preseason exhibition games. So you don't totally know what it's gonna look like. Kind of with when I started tackling, I thought the tackling was really good because you're not tackling every day in practice for our first game. The efficiency offensively, not turning the ball over, critically important. So those jumped out.
Was that the ideal balance you want on offense?
I mean, 6 touchdowns and 9 possessions, ultimately, that's really good. And so, you know, can we find it both ways? Because some days it's gonna be tougher to run it, flash, some days throw it. Again, we don't wanna play the game to just make sure our yardages line up at 50%. We wanna be successful on either way of doing it.
Did you feel like your offense was sufficiently versatile, using DJ in the running game, letting him pass while also having that efficient running game? Was it to the point that you wanted?
Yeah, I mean, on his runs, kind of situational calls, I know we 3rd down, we ran the quarterback draw early. And obviously toward the goal line, he can be pretty effective. I can see that growing. But we want to be able to have him stand in the pocket, throw the ball, get us in the right place, play action pass off this run game. We had some of that going.
Corey Stover in coverage on the sideline was pretty good too.
Yeah, because that's not a great matchup. I mean, we're blitzing the other side. He's got to take the back out of the backfield, did a really good job with it. The guy's an athlete, played tight end in high school too, running routes. And so him, along with McCartan, really solid games. Talked about again containing the queue. Those guys are asked to do a ton of it. You know, sacking the quarterback, McCartan with the cause fumble. That position was solid.